When Genshin Impact came back out in 2020, it provided us with a huge open world, a colorful cast of characters to mingle with, an intricate combat system, and most importantly, heaps of single-player content to delve into. However, once players reach the end of the story campaign and finish all the side quests, the Genshin experience kind of devolved into a mindless, repetitive grind. Sure, with major patch updates like 1.2, 1.3, and 1.5, we've got a few events that earned us that sweet primo gems, but aside from that, So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the state of the game 8 months later, and if it's worth playing or not. So for those who have never played Genshin Impact before, Genshin is a free-to-play open-world RPG with gacha elements. Despite having the feature to let you play with friends, players can't unlock co-op mode until they reach a certain level. I'll get into that more later. For now, let's start with what's good about Genshin Impact. What first drew me into Genshin Impact was honestly the aesthetics. It's all very stylized, the characters are expressive, the action is dramatic, and the colors are beautifully vibrant. If you're someone who enjoys anime or just the overall aesthetic, I think you'll definitely enjoy spending time on Genshin. Whether it be farming, exploring, cooking, or even just standing still, everything is just pleasing to look at. Another thing to note is that Genshin Impact also allows you to take pictures. I'm sure a lot of games have this feature now, but it's still worth mentioning. I personally spend a lot of time just taking pictures in-game. I'm not a photographer or anything, but I just find it really fun. As you can see by the amount of shit I have. So if it was the aesthetics that drew me in, what kept me playing? When you first start Genshin, you're instantly thrusted into the story. You have a pair of twins fighting what looks like a goddess. You're then asked to pick a twin, and regardless of who you picked, your other twin will be Thanos snapped. And this is where your journey to find your missing twin begins. Now, I'm going to keep this spoiler free, so I won't delve too much into the story. But I can say within half an hour of playing, I was actually very interested. You can tell a lot of thought was put into this, especially from the books and notes that can be found around the world. Most, if not all of them, are connected to the story and can give you some interesting bits that make you go, in short, if you're someone who enjoys games with heavy lore, Genshin Impact definitely won't disappoint. As you progress through your journey, you'll meet a bunch of other characters, and you can even get them to join your team. If you're lucky. Because the game is still very far from complete, you sadly won't get to see every single character appear in the story. Yet. However, when you get them to join your party, you get to level up their friendship. Doing so will unlock their character story, which is, well, their story. You'll also unlock their voice lines, which I personally find very cute. I mean, just listen to this, come on. So if you're someone who really appreciates having lore-heavy characters, like me, then you'll definitely love the characters Genshin has to offer. Genshin offers you a massive open world in which you can glide, climb, and fight through as you explore. And as I mentioned earlier, Genshin is still far from complete, so this means the world will only get bigger with future updates. As long as you're someone who enjoys running around and exploring the world, you'll definitely enjoy Genshin and the world it has built. When I heard that Genshin Impact has gacha mechanics, I was slightly skeptical, I guess, because I have horrible luck when it comes to gacha games, so I'm scared. However, I was pleasantly surprised with how it's handled here. Genshin doesn't ever force you to spend in-game, and by that I mean they never shove spam in your face, unlike a lot of games now where they heavily try to bait you into spending. Personally, I think the game remains playable and enjoyable even if you choose to be a free-to-play player. Now, everyone will have their own opinions when it comes to microtransactions in-game. But we have to remember that Genshin Impact is a free-to-play game. Whether you want to spend money or not is entirely up to you. And my tip is to just spend wisely, my dudes. So after talking a little bit about the game, you might be wondering, what's the community like? The community in Genshin Impact is very active and open to discussions. If you think you explore everything there is in Genshin, try reading up a couple of achievement and treasure guides, and you'll realize that you might have missed a few. Getting a little bored of the game, the fandom is filled with fan art and fan theories to keep you entertained and interested. Now that I've talked about what's good in Genshin Impact, personally, let's move on to what's not so good about Genshin Impact. As I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, when you reach endgame, everything slowly becomes repetitive and grindy. This is mainly because Genshin Impact is still in development in terms of story, world building, and gameplay. Personally, I feel like this would affect you depending on what kind of player you are. If you don't mind, or even like, grinding, farming, and exploring the same areas, domains, while waiting for the game to update, this would probably not affect you. If you don't like doing what I just mentioned, then this might turn you off from the game, since it's going to feel more like a chore to log in every day and have nothing new to do or explore. The next issue I have, and what I see a lot of other players have, is with the co-op system. As of now, there's very little reason to be playing in co-op. It doesn't have many benefits, and it also limits certain features, such as crafting, talking to NPCs, and certain quest progressions, making it a little annoying for players who enjoy playing with others. MiHoYo has mentioned that crafting in co-op will be implemented in the future updates. Other than that, they have made certain tweaks that make the experience more enjoyable, such as earning double friendship EXP for your characters when doing domains, ley lines, and bosses with your friends. It's not much at the moment, but we can hope that there will be more benefits added to co-op mode in the future. Another thing I wanted to mention is that co-op is only made available to the player after they hit Adventure Rank 16. Adventure Rank is pretty much your level in Genshin Impact, and it's not easy to get to AR 16. It's not something you can achieve in a day unless you... I don't even think hardcore grinding can get you there. So this can potentially turn off new players who wanted to instantly start playing together with their friends. This might be changed in the future, but who knows? So with all that said, do I think Genshin Impact is worth playing after all these months? The answer is yes. While the endgame can get a little repetitive and boring, we can't deny that it is still a well-made game with plenty of content to explore. My tip for players who are interested in picking up the game is don't try and rush through the game. Take your time, enjoy exploring the world and the story of Genshin Impact. Okay, chill, that was a bit dramatic. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in picking up Genshin Impact, we have the download link below in the description. So if you want to give it a try, go ahead. And if you have any suggestions on what game I should cover next, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time. Raccoon out.